Hello viewers, I'm Khalil Ahmed. Well, in the entire world these days, we know that there is some kind of dearth of human resource, particularly the skilled human resource. And we talk about the energy sector, or we talk about even like the financial institutions. We come to know that there is something wrong, perhaps. Is it because of the COVID effects? Is it because the people during the COVID did not try to hone their skills, the skills which are required today? Well, there are plenty of conundrums almost in every part of the world, right from Europe to Asia to North America, and we come to know that as far as the foreign direct investment is concerned, particularly in Asia, we need plenty of human resource. And again, in Pakistan, the impact of CPEC is going to be quite positive in terms of the employment opportunities. So, what kind of skills Pakistan needs, particularly in the energy sector, and how much investment are we going to attract? This is all we are going to talk about, and for this, I am joined by an expert, a former managing director of Pakistan State Oil, and he has been serving many other organizations at the top positions, Mr. Kalim Siddiqui. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, if we start off with this thing that in the entire world we know that the skilled workforce is scarce, particularly after COVID 19. How do you comment on that?
Actually, the COVID-19 has changed the world, I would say, because what I know that in USA, Canada, and Europe, people have got used to working from home. So they are reluctant to go back to offices now. So
It's a kind of new normal, right?
it's a new normal, and probably it's the new way of working. So what is happening now that there is a shortage of qualified and skilled people, and it is all over the world. As far as Pakistan is concerned, I think we are not any different. In our case, there are some drawbacks as well, because somehow the quality of education and education standard has also affected in our country. So we really need to upgrade that, so that the people we graduate, the people who qualify from our institutions, they have the knowledge, they have the skill, and they are able to go and serve the industry. So yes, because of this COVID-19, everywhere there is a shortage, and I think
And people were furloughed, particularly the energy sector. Like, if not hundreds, at least thousands of people in multitude of organizations were furloughed during 2020, 2021 because the organizations were unable to meet the expenses, revenues decelerated, and the demand decelerated also. So that was something which was having kind of compounding impact. So, like it is generally said that if you lose a job, don't despair. Try to hone your skills so that whenever there's an opportunity, you should be the top priority of any organization to be picked, to be cherry picked.
but that is very true, because people have to understand that this is not, it is a very competitive world now. So just doing the normal 9 to 5 or normal way of working doesn't work. So you have to be extra intelligent, you have to go out of the way and compete with the people. And especially during COVID-19, I think a lot of people lost that time, because most of the institutions, most of the places, training institutions, they were closed.
Is it a little, one of the reasons I was talking to an expert, he said to me that when there was outbreak of COVID, plenty of individuals thought that it may prolong. Some thought that it may last say for a month or two, but plenty of individuals all over the world thought that it may prolong say for a couple of years, and they got plenty of disappointment. This is something that they stopped learning, and now they might be regretting. So this remorse might be there, right?
Yes, I think first of all, in our lifetime, we have seen the pandemic, and it normally occurs, after every 100 years or so. So this was an experience. Nobody had any idea that how long it will last, and fortunately or unfortunately, it lasted over 2 years. It's not completely out of our way even now. So yes, I think that time is lost. People have not updated themselves, not upgraded themselves. So there is a shortage, there is a gap, but I think people will cope up with that.
That's right.
It's a matter of time, just in year or two.
That's right. And so the energy sector is
I-
concerned.
Yes.
So how do you see the energy sector performance and the skilled workforce?
Energy sector always had a issue, to get a good and qualified people, but energy sector itself is going through a very vast change. And as you know, now the vehicles, they are coming on electric. So electric vehicles are there. So the fuel consumption will go down. A lot of these petrol pumps and stations we see today, probably in next 5 to 10 years, most of them will disappear, or they will convert their business to something else. But as a whole, I think the renewable energy is getting more momentum. The solar energy has become a lot cheaper compared to fuel oil power generation. So many people are switching over to that.
And as far as Pakistan is concerned, since you talked about the solar energy, in the world we know that particularly in China, they have the cars which are being run through solar energy also. And biogas, like you look at Denmark, you look at plenty of other countries, they are really using biogas, and this is something which is really helping them. So biogas for the fuel consumption. So there is again new normal. So things are really changing. In terms of the consumption in Pakistan, in terms of the availability and affordability as far as Pakistan is concerned, since you have plenty of experience of the top organizations heading the organizations, working as managing director, so how do you see Pakistan, say, 5 years down the line?
Last 3 4 years, Pakistan has touched the consumption to about 25 million tons of petroleum products. But because of the pandemic, it's gone down around 20, and even this year, it's probably about 18 million tons. So the volume is going down. And another issue we have is that our currency is devaluing. Rupee is devaluing. So because of that, energy has become quite costly for the locals, especially because the crude oil prices have risen in the world, and although it's going down now, so that's a good thing for us. So we do not have too much indigenous. So what happens that about 80% we have to import. It's a crude oil which we have to import and then process it through our refineries. Even all the refineries combined in the country cannot produce more than 50% of the requirement. And if it increases like 24-25 million tons, then hardly 40-45% is the local production, and 60% has to be imported. And now in that case, we require a lot of foreign exchange, and we are under pressure as far as foreign exchange
That's right,
is
at this
concerned.
particular juncture, of course.
So I think the best way to move forward as far as Pakistan is concerned is to focus on the indigenous resources, and we try to develop our indigenous sources and use as much as practically possible and economically possible renewable energy.
So as far as renewable energy is concerned, there's plenty of potential. We have the wind corridors in Sindh and in Balochistan also. In addition to that, like in the world, we have seen the tidal energy, we have seen biogas, as we have been discussing. In addition to that, of course, wind and solar is something. So future, of course, is of alternate because of the environmental issues like COP26, COP27. They've been discussing all these things. So all these developed economies, particularly the US and China, and again the top five, including India and France and UK, they have really pledged to ensure that there is deceleration in the carbon in the air, in the environment. So in the days to come, of course, we need to rely on the renewable. So are we geared up in Pakistan?
Uh, a frank answer is not really, but we need to do a lot in this area because world is going away from coal power generation. We are moving into a coal power generation regime. Although we are now producing a lot of power through our LNG, and we are also the fuel consumption, the fuel oil power generation has gone down considerably. Now hardly 6-7% is the fuel power generation, but lot of power generation is through the natural gas we have in the country, which is again in a scarcity right now, and then what LNG we are importing, so we are producing the power with that. Then the hydel power, we have. So right now the biggest contribution is coming from hydel power. So if we can, it's a clean energy, so if we can produce lot of dams and generate the power from there, that will be economical as well as environmental friendly.
So as an expert and having plenty of experience, you are a seasoned energy sector professional. So what would you suggest to the, of course, population of Pakistan, that what they should do to ensure that they are conserving energy? In addition to that, of course, to the government, what would be your suggestion to the government of Pakistan?
Well, I think we have to focus, as I said earlier, for the domestic indigenous resources, but of course we have to build lot of dams. This will provide water to us. It will save us from lot of flooding, as we have seen recently as well. So that is the single source we have to focus on. Although there is a lot of discussion in the world about the nuclear, but it is a way to go. It's a clean energy, but
it's already being done. Like if you look at
it is
France,
yes,
more than
yes.
75%
Yes.
electricity in France is being generated
In
through
all
nuclear.
the developed countries, if you look at it, they have very vast contribution
That's
coming
right.
from the nuclear side. So we can use nuclear as well, and we should also try to explore a lot of gases. We have a lot of gas reserves, and Pakistan is one of the 10 countries in the world who has a shale reserve. So I think if we can get a lot of gas, we can produce power on gas that's clean, hydel, solar. These are the way I think we can go, and this way we will be able to meet our energy requirements as the population grows and we go more industrialization. And on the same time, we need to have our institutions who target the development of the human capital specifically to that resources, so that they are ready to go and serve that industry.
Mr. Kalim Siddiqui, it was really wonderful having conversation with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, viewers, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching.